What's up, everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos, you will learn how to use technical analysis to forecast price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others, and also see where we are looking to buy and sell these crypto assets ourselves. So let's get into it here with Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, folks. So we are indeed seeing some increasing bear volume, not looking good going into this weekend. So far, we've had this lower high set here last week. We talked about this with the rise. We knew that the lower high was coming because it was very unlikely for us to form this low and then come up and just go up to a new higher high. So it was a matter of where that was going to be formed. Now we are indeed coming down. We've already made a lower low below this low, but now it's a matter of if we're going to push down below these lows and close below it. At this point, it's starting to look more and more likely that that is going to happen with the increasing bear volume here. This is kind of eliminating the chance that this RSI is going to form a bullish divergence, like we talked about earlier this week, potentially being a outcome. So if we close below the R1 pivot here, that's inside of this blue zone, that's right around 37.5. That's going to be our main resistance zone on a rise in price. Otherwise, if we close below the light blue zone this week, we'll be looking for next week to potentially close below it again for then a potential short opportunity here. So let's go to the daily time frame and talk about what we see here. So this is a level that I've been talking about since back here on June 14th, this gray level right here. It has once again played out absolutely beautifully here with the rejection right here off of this level. I mean, it doesn't get cleaner than this, with the bodies of these candles lining up almost absolutely perfectly with the bottom of this wick of this candle from June 12th. So this is a very simple pattern here with our bull pattern with a low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Now what's happening in this trend here? Let's break this down for a second and why this trade worked. The reason is because we had a rise in price, a sell-off right here. Once we hit some resistance, sell-off, people sold their Bitcoin on this candle. How do we know? With the bear volume and the black candlestick, the close was below the open. So here's the open, and then here's the close. And then subsequently, we had this rise in price thereafter where we continued the rise that we had going here. So when we had this continuation, this is like bulls take control kind of a move where they gain some momentum. We talked about this was actually a trade that we took off of this level. That's why the price bounced right here. So a nice bounce here, about 15% on spot. Very nice trade there. Then subsequently, what happened was we came up, we formed a high here above this one, higher high. And when we came down, this level that was previously resistance from this sell-off should have been support right here. Now you can see this candle started to act like it was going to right here. So there was still, a profitable trade here to make from a buy on this low, but it wasn't that profitable because then subsequently the next day opened and we dumped into it. We kind of were stagnant here for a day and then we dumped below it, but we closed back inside and then finally we dumped below it and closed below it. And then we closed a second candlestick below it. So this is where the significance came, when we closed a second candlestick below this level and we did not respect it as support. So this is a classic SR flip where you have a level that should be support and now it's flipping to be resistance. So now right here we retest this level, we get a nice entry right on the bottom of the wick of this candle, which is right down here at about 34,600 roughly, and then subsequently we dump here. So the other factors to look at going into this was the declining bull volume. Very simple rise in price, so declining bull volume. So when you see that, it's meaning every day it's pushing up higher, but it's getting weaker and weaker. There's less people buying on each daily candle. So then this day was, yesterday we dumped. So now if we look at, what this trade would have yielded already, it has already yielded about 13% on spot, which is fantastic. Using leverage, obviously way more. So that's good. Now, if we look at these other trend following indicators, these are continuing to be in the most bearish position they can be in. So it is not surprising that we got this drawdown in price. We have the super guppies that are expanded and they are in the bearish position. And then we have the Ichimoku cloud, which is in the most bearish position here as well. So let's go to well, before we talk about that, where are our support levels? Well, we have one support level back here from December 27th, which is this candlestick right here. When we came up, came down, formed a higher low, and continued the trend, the bull trend. But we've already tested this level once, so it's weaker than it would be if we had not tested it. So we might push through this level on the first test, but given that we could potentially be drawing down from, here, for us to go right through that zone is probably unlikely, because that will be a drawdown of about 27% without forming a low. I think we potentially will form a higher low here above this low because of the magnitude of this bounce. So you can see the people are kind of pricing that in already. They're kind of pricing it like, oh, maybe we will have a daily bounce here. The problem with getting a daily bounce today on a Saturday is tomorrow the weekly candle closes, and the weekly candle, unless we bounce pretty significantly over today and tomorrow, the weekly candle is not looking very good right now. So we'll have to look on the lower time frames for clarity on where we'll bounce. But the other thing I wanted to point out, the last resistance zone I'll talk about on the daily time frame, the 2-day level back here from December 20th. So this is down here at about 24,350, and this is an untested support level. So this is going to be the main support level that we look at here, potentially bouncing from if we go down there. So now let's go to the 4-hour and look at if the bulls are actually going to make a move here on the old 4-hour trend change. So once again, this level from back here from June 9th held once again for another potential scalp short here. So we closed 2 candlesticks below it. We retested it right here. Here's the entry point right on the wick of the candle. Otherwise, you could try and use the body, but we didn't get to the body, so probably should have used the wick there. If you use the wick, that was a 7% trade right there. So that level still holding true. Now the bulls have had a nice little bounce here. So we see we have this above average bull volume. So people are pricing in the potential for a daily higher low here. So we came up, we're potentially forming a lower high below this one, and then we're going to need to come down and form either a higher low or a lower low. If we go down and we form a lower low, that is going to be where we're going to potentially look for this white candle to turn into resistance. So that's really what we got going on for Bitcoin right now. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you like this video, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content around crypto and blockchain technology. And join our Global Leutheria Telegram channel, where you can get access to different thoughts that I have on different crypto assets. You can collaborate and learn with the rest of our crypto community and a ton more as well. So check that out, and until tomorrow, onward and upward.